Hello and welcome to my review of the Siegebreaker Consul for Warhammer The Horus Heresy from Games Workshop. One of these models will cost you £27.50, which means they have finally caught up and they are in the same price range as like your standard plastic minis from Games Workshop. If you didn't already know, this is made in the Forge World resin. It's highly detailed Forge World resin. It is an expert kit. It's 15 plus, as opposed to your typical Captain in Terminator armor in plastic, which is a 12 plus age rating, by the way. Now, I'm not sure what's going on with Games Workshop and Forge World, but a lot of their consoles are temporarily out of stock. This one, I'm recording this sort of 9th of April, and he is out of stock right now. So is the Traitor Champion Consul, so is the Loyalist Champion Consul as well. But they're all about £27.50. I think the Traitor one is £26.50 at the moment. But if you're lucky enough to get one, you'll find out that it consists of 14 resin components, quite a fair number of components really. The only spare part you'll get though is a helmetless head option. Format of this review is as usual. I'll have a look at the model, go through all, how easy it was to build and things, any issues I had. And then we'll look at that alternate head option. We'll go through some size comparisons with other consoles and other Horus Heresy minis, and then finally I'll go through all of the rules for the Siegebreaker Consul, because he does have his own like unique rules for a console. If you didn't already know, a console is pretty much a Centurion that has like a specialized field within a Space Marine Legion. A Centurion is in command of 1,000 or more Space Marines. A Praetor is, more than that, you could say. It doesn't necessarily need to be the next step up of 10,000. It's a console, so he has an area of specialty, and in this case it is the Siegebreaker. He is a master of battlefield demolition, depicted coordinating an assault through his holographic command terminal. He's armed with a thunder hammer, perfect for shattering enemy armor in person. Carries a holstered pistol and corrosive phosphex bombs on his belt, allowing him to turn entire areas of the battlefield into crawling waves of fire. He's got heavily customized Mk.VI Artificer armor, integrates a Nuncio Vox communication system, and the head option that I've gone for has additional sensory modifications. Now, the key word in all of this is heavily customized Mk.VI Artificer armor. I think quite a few people are quick to jump on like marks of armor and things like that, but at the end of the day, this is kind of like a chapter master, and chapter masters, you don't see them just walking around in Mark 10 or Mark 8 or anything like that. They have this artificer armor, which is very unique, very customized, heavily customized in this case. So yes, although it is Mk.VI, it has some Mk.VI look to it, with the rivets on the shoulder pauldron, and it has the beaky kind of helmet. It is heavily customized. There's loads of things on here that you aren't getting on a normal sort of Mk.VI. You're getting these extra armor plates here. You're getting this shoulder pauldron, which is probably bigger than a normal shoulder pauldron, but has these extra reinforced parts in there. The chest piece is kind of totally different compared to a normal sort of Mk.VI. It doesn't have the sort of straps with this button thing in the front. It has all of these, again, reinforced parts and ports. It has this extra layered piece of armor here for the groin area, exposed reinforced parts here, multi layers on the rear. So heavily modified, although it is Mk.VI. Yeah, it would have been nice to also have these in other marks, but from 2 years ago they've had a push with Mk.VI, and it's nice, and I think it's nice to see a load of these consoles and things in Mk.VI. We didn't really get many, if any at all, Mk.VI consuls, centurions, praetors. I mean, yeah, we had the Emperor's Children in Mark 6 and things, but it's just nice to get these in this flavour. Probably we'll get them in the new Mark 3 as well in a couple of years' time, but as it stands, yeah, really happy with this. You've got the phosphate bombs there, you've got the iPad 30,000 or whatever. Very cool feature, I think I showed in the unboxing, is the sort of 3D data slate thing, showcasing a Space Marine rising up out of it. That's very cool. It's been lovely to paint that, really make it pop. The helmet is awesome. I like all the sensory parts. The Thunder Hammer has got loads of detail on it, all on the grip and things. You know, it's a very nice Thunder Hammer. Yeah, there's just a cabling and these antennas on the Nuncio Vox. It's just a very cool mini. Lovely, lots of 3D detail and things. Issue wise, you might have a bit of an issue with the Thunder Hammer. I did bend it. I might need to bend it back a bit more, but yeah, well, yeah, maybe it's bent because I didn't give it much room when I first put it on. But yeah, that's the only issue. You might have a bit of a bend in the shaft, which is easily worked out. So, spare parts. The only spare part you really get is with this alternate head. I think this is the one. I better get it right. So you've got some kind of lens. I wasn't really a big fan of this cable thing going up his nose, and I prefer the beaky sort of helmet look. So that's your alternate head if you want to use that. Other than that, what you see is what you get, which leads us to size comparison. So first size comparison I like to make is just with the new Mark 6 Apothecary right here. So size wise, they are very similar. I'll probably say the Siegebreaker is just a little bit taller. Not quite sure why. I can't really say it's the pose, but yeah, he's just a little bit taller than the Apothecary. Compared to a normal Mark 6, again, bit taller. Might be because he's on that sort of rock that is a bit raised. But yeah, bit taller. He's gonna stand out quite well in amongst your other Mark 6s. I've got the Champion Consul just because I made him quite recently. He is pretty much the same height as the Champion. So if you've got a Champion or you're thinking about getting one, going to be the same height as him. So a nice collection of Mark 6s there. I have another, well, I have the Centurion, which is, yeah, I guess, you know, another Consul in a way. I know, a painted miniature, right? But yeah, he is taller than that one. Might be something to do with the pose though. And then compared to another Consul, the Moritat, I've got the Purvey and I've got the Vigilator. I just can't find them at the moment. This one's got the Volkite. I need to pick up another one with the Plasma at some point. But you can just see why I don't normally sort of paint or spray my miniatures, because you can see all the detail much more in the grey. But this one is a bit smaller, but then again he is in the Mark 4, so he would be a bit smaller, but nice jump pack there as well. Compared to older Marks, I guess, so we've got the Mark 3s and the Mark 4. So I think you know what's going to happen here. He's a fair bit taller than the old Mark 3 and way taller than the old Mark 4. And then compared to the new Mark 3, he's taller than the new Mark 3 as well by a fair chunk. So, you know, he's a Consul. He's going to stand, you know, taller than your normal Mark 6s. So if that's a big thing for you and you want bigger Space Marines in Horus Heresy compared to these little dudes, then there you go. Another comparison I might as well make is just with Horus Ascended, why not? He's just an incredible model and gives you an idea. If you, I mean, I don't have Perturabo. I'd love to get Perturabo one day, but if I had him, I'd be giving you a comparison next to him. So that's where he is next to Horus Lupercal. So yeah, Horus has so much more presence, doesn't he, in things. And then the final comparison I always like to make is just with the 3 usual minis right here. So we've got Primaris, and we've got standard Space Marine there, so a bit bigger than the normal Space Marine. Primaris, Primaris is taller, but it's not a massive amount. Not a massive amount taller. But again, might be something to do with that tactical rock. And then Sly Marbo comes up to chest height probably, which makes sense for like a 6 foot something guy. So there you go. That's the size comparisons. Hope they've helped. Okay, this is my part of the review where I will go through all of the rules for the Siegebreaker Consul. He's essentially got the same stat line as the Legion Centurion, which is an HQ choice, which will cost you 60 points. If you want him as a Siegebreaker, then he's going to cost you an extra 45 points, which means it's going to cost 105 points. Of course, you can give him a Thunderhammer, which is a number 30 points, so that's 135 points already. Here's War Gear. He has a bolt pistol, chainsword, artificer armor, refractor field, frag grenades, crack grenades. Special rules: Legiones Astartes, independent character, Legiones Consularis, and Relentless. He may take one of the following: Bolter for 2 points, Magna Combi weapon for 10, Minor Combi weapon for 5, Volkite Charger for 2, Astartes Shotgun for 2, Nemesis Bolter for 10. May exchange either Bolt Pistol and or Chainsword for the following: Volkite Serpenter for 2, Hand Flamer for 2, Plasma Pistol for 10, Chain Axe for 5, Charnable Weapon for 10, Power Weapon for 15, Power Fist for 25, Lightning Claw for 15, Thunder Hammer, which is what he is equipped with, for 30, Board and Shield for 3. You may take, you may exchange both Bolt Pistol and Chainsword for 2 Lightning Claws at 15 points, and may take one of the following: Combat Shield for 3, Melter Bombs for 10 points, and may take one of the following: a Warhawk Jump Pack for 20 points, a Spatha Combat Bike for 20, or a Scimitar Jet Bike for 30. So stat line, pretty good. So his movement speed is 7 inches, his weapon skill is 5, ballistic skill 5, strength 4, toughness 4, 2 wounds, initiative 5, 3 attacks, leadership 9, and a save of 2+. He's got that 2+ normal, and I think a 5+ invulnerable because of the refractor field. Compared to a Praetor, he's the same speed, but his weapon skill is a bit worse, but ballistic skill, strength and toughness are all the same. He's just got 1 less wound at 2 wounds instead of the 3, and he's only got 3 attacks instead of the 4, and the leadership is a bit worse at 9. Now his Siegebreaker specific rules, now there's quite a few. You know, you've got Librarian, Master of Signals, Esoterist, you've got Champion, Delegatus, Vigilator, Chaplain, Pathfinder, Forge Lord, Primus Medicae. There's quite a number of consoles that we just haven't had models yet. You've got the Armistus, the Mortificator. But this Siegebreaker, special rules, he's got the Sunder and Art of Destruction special rule. Now the Art of Destruction, at the start of each shooting phase, the controlling player may nominate 1 friendly unit with at least 1 model within 6 inches of a model. With this special rule, that unit gains the benefit of Sunder special rule for the duration of that shooting phase. Now Sunder special rule, if you didn't already know, you may re-roll failed armor penetration rolls against vehicles and buildings, both with shooting attacks and in close combat. And you can re-roll glancing hits in an attempt to get a penetrating hit, but the second result must be kept. So that's pretty nice. You know, you can re-roll those failed armor penetration rolls. War Gear, a Legion Siegebreaker gains a Nuncio Vox and 3 Phosphex bombs for no additional cost. That's pretty nice. A Nuncio Vox, while it's present on the battlefield, you can re-roll the scatter rolls made, as long as the Nuncio Vox has line of sight to the target, to the unit targeted by the attack, or the point chosen as the target of the deployment. You also ignore the -1 penalty to leadership imposed by night fighting rules. In terms of Phosphex bombs, they're a range of 6 inches, strength 5, AP 2, assault 1, 1 use, blast 3 inch, poison 3+, crawling fire, and lingering death. So yeah, Phosphex bombs, pretty good. And you're getting 3 of those. Yeah, they're short range, 6 inches, but yeah, you got these little 3-inch blast markers at AP2, you know, and poisoned as well on 3+. Very decent to have those. In addition, any Legion rapier carriers with quad launchers in the same detachment may be upgraded to have Phosphet canister shot for +20 points. Now, that's quite nice. You know, that's only 12 to 24 inch range. It's only strength 4, but it is AP3. Again, heavy 1, but it's barrage and it's blast 3 inches as well, so it might be worth going for. And any Legion Arquiter squadrons with Morbus bombards in the same detachment may be upgraded with Phosphet shells for +20 points per model. Now that's a decent upgrade, that, because for the Arquiter Morbus bombard, which I have, it's Morbius time, they are a range of 24 inches, strength 5, AP2, Ordnance 1, blast 3 inch, poisoned 3+, crawling fire and lingering death. So I would have liked them to be in 5 inches blast for the 24 inch range, as you know, like a buff, considering it's such short range. Still pretty good that it is AP2 and has the crawling fire, lingering death and poison 3+. But the main reason you get taking this Legion Siegebreaker is to reroll the failed armor penetration, the Nuncio Vox, scatter, and then upgrading your rapier carriers and your Morbus bombard with the Phosphex. I think he's a great looking model, one of the best that they've come out with. I do like these you know, Mk.VI Consuls. I just wish that they were in stock a lot of the time. What do you guys think of the model and the rules? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below. Good to hear from you. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.